Hey guys, it's Aiden here, making another video here on a fall day in Ohio. I know I haven't really made a video in a while. I've been kind of doing my own thing for a bit, but I kind of felt drawn to make a video today. With it being fall and everything, it's kind of a change of times, so things are changing, the leaves are falling, the trees are going into, well, a lot of the plants are going into a state of death or hibernation. The weather is changing, so it's getting colder. I'm wearing a hat, as you can see, and a jacket. It's kind of windy today. And I don't know, it kind of brings contemplation for me. Like, it kind of brings in some kind of reflection on you know, what sort of transpired in the last year, like what I've sort of done, and you know, what I'm looking to do forwards, like into the winter. I don't know, life is kind of a funny thing. They're kind of, you know, we come into this world, we do some stuff, and then we die, you know. It's kind of weird. At some point we're all gonna be gone. At one point we will be ancestors. We will no longer be the ones leading the show. So it's kind of an interesting setup we have, you know, going on. And sometimes I wonder what life is about. You know, what does it mean? What is the purpose of life? And I don't really know if there's necessarily an answer to that. I'm sitting out here in nature, and it's really nice out here, and you know, I look at the river and the plants, and I'm sitting on a tree. The roots are here underneath me, you can't see it, and it's peaceful, you know. There's just a stillness to the space around. There's no busyness, there's no worry or concern. There's just a sense of being, a sense of existing. And sometimes we get caught up in all the busyness and the worrying and all that stuff. And I don't really know, like, why we have that, why there's that. It doesn't seem like there's much of that going on here right now. You know, I could be wrong, but it's strange to be in this world, especially as humans. You know, we're the only beings on the planet that pay to live, that have to you know, have some sort of income and money and some stuff like that. I know money is just basically a representation of material goods. It's basically replaced the traditional bartering system. But it's you know, there's still people that just live off of the land, you know, that just hunters and gatherers, or horticulturists. They just kind of rove around. But who's to say that that's a better style of life than what we have going on here, or vice versa? There's a lot of judgments, you know, as to what's the best thing to do, or the best culture, or what's superior. I'm just kind of enjoying the view. This is what I'm looking at right now. guess I have something to say. This is something that it's something that I've been talking about since the beginning of my channel. And that's like being more accepting of yourself and allowing yourself to be yourself, and just to be okay with being you, you know. Sometimes there's like expectation for us to say certain things or to be certain things or to do certain things, and you don't have to necessarily follow those, you know. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted because there's some aspects, like there's some things we have to do in order to survive. So we have to be able to like have a job to support ourselves and things like that. So I understand that sometimes we can't always speak our mind because we have to, you know, be different selves, like different. We have to interact with other people and be okay. So sometimes there's some things that we can't necessarily express because we need to maintain a certain relationship in order to be okay. But you know, finding ways to be okay with yourself and expressing yourself, like I'm trying to be as genuine as I can on this video, just like being authentic. This is part of like a self-love process for me to like sit on camera and maybe say something, maybe not, and not necessarily worry about what other people will think of what I'm doing, you know. This is more for this is for me. It's also for whoever watches this. You know, my hopes is that maybe someone watching will get like something out of it. But yeah, I think insecurity is like rampant in our society. There's a lot of people insecure in different ways, and it's because there's so much expectation and so much disempowerment, and just finding you is nice, you know. Respecting yourself, like knowing when somebody is crossing your boundaries and being able to say no is like really powerful. And then also like allowing your own creativity, allowing your own growth and process to unfold. I think we're always learning. I think we're always sort of getting to know ourselves better. I don't think that process ever ends. Probably. I mean, it hasn't ended for me, so I'm only 26 though, so I've got a few years ahead of me, in theory. I mean, life is unpredictable. I hope I live a long time, but we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I guess sometimes I feel insecure about myself and insecure about what direction I'm going in, or not so much direction. I just feel insecure, you know, just like unsure about myself. And I'm sure part of that is normal for my age, normal for just like being, you know, who I am. It's hard to find identity, like find yourself in this world when we're pulled in so many different directions. And we're told to be so many different things. To listen to the voice inside can be difficult because it's not necessarily the loudest voice. But our body tells us, we know when we don't. At least I've known, and with my experience, when I don't listen, there's usually repercussions. You know, you start getting well, I start usually getting depressed or anxious or upset or, kind of feeling like a lack of fulfillment in my life, a lack of depth or nourishment of my soul, or whatever you want to call it. That's just the way I phrase it. Whatever, feeling accomplished, feeling like you're happy with where things are going. So, and there's a lot of things that I wish I did better. I feel like I'm not really great with people. I'm not really great with, reaching out and maintaining connections with people, and feeling like a good sense of connection, I guess. Part of me is kind of afraid of that in some ways, but is also seeking it. Part of me connects, but there's part of me that is holding back. I'm not sure what that is. I guess, life for me, it's like a journey. For me, I'm not like depressed or anything. I don't get depressed like I used to. I used to get quite depressed. That's not really something that happens anymore. I kind of feel like a subtle joy of just being alive. For me, like, sometimes it's not as present, but I want to live. I want to be here, And I've been suicidal before. It's not a fun place to be. If anybody's in that state, reach out for help, because sometimes we can't dig ourselves out of our own trenches. We need some people to help us get out. We're stuck in our own perceptions of things. It's helpful to have some people to give some different perspectives, and maybe even give you some support for a while. So, but yeah, there's like a kind of a I don't know, it's like a subtle pleasure of just being alive and going through the process of self-discovery, and discovering others, connecting with others, and just being in this world. And it's the more I think about it, and the more I look at time, and how long the earth has been here, and how permanent, how solid the earth is, my time here is so small. It's so it's just a little blip, in the whole grand scheme of things. But it's it's so it's just interesting. I don't know. Well, anyways, thanks for listening to my stories, to my whatever I just talked about. It's helpful for me just to talk, about where I'm at for myself, like I said, for myself, but also for other people who may be feeling the same things and maybe can't find it somewhere else, haven't seen it somewhere else, or just having some other person out there knowing that you're not alone, and there's other people asking questions, and looking at things from a different way, I guess. I don't know. It's not different necessarily. Differences are, it's funny. Everything, we're all just mud and water and a bunch of elements put together. It's I don't really see how we can have so many differences, but we do. I do it too, I create divisions in my life, divisions with other people. It's just it's interesting. So yeah, thanks for listening, and if you get the chance, maybe try to spend some time out in nature. I know sometimes people would rather stay inside because it's warmer inside and sheltered from the elements, but nature has a way of just bringing things to simplicity. There's a simpleness about just being outside. The trees just are trees. They're not trying to change or manipulate anything. They might on some level, but they're pretty chill. They just kind of exist, and they know who they are. They are who they are. They're not trying to be a caterpillar or a butterfly or any other animal. They're just a tree. Sometimes we try to be different animals. There's ways to do that. You go into a trance or something, but I'm never gonna be a fish, as far as I know. Sometimes we try to be different things, and it creates some conflict within us. So maybe one day we'll figure it out, but I guess the best thing we can be is ourselves, and that's a pretty damn hard thing to do. So as always, guys, take time for yourself and seek your truth, I guess. Be yourself. Do you. Whatever mantra or whatever kind of catchphrase works for you. So, alright. Peace, guys. See you in my next video.